Hello and welcome to Joy News Desk with me, Emefa Akosia Adeti. Coming up in this bulletin, the Electoral Commission is standing firm on its decision to recollate results in disputed constituencies despite backlash from the NDC.
All of us are aware that from the two political parties, they were saying that they were able to collate their result before 12 midnight on the 7th, right? Mean that all of them have the results. So the question I pose is, why are we here?
Also, Public Health Elect Environmental Protection Agency is issuing a warning notice over deteriorating air quality caused by escalating dust levels during the Harmattan. We'll bring you details and also seek advice for the vulnerable persons who would want to engage in outdoor activities this Yuletide. Please stay for details. Many thanks for choosing us. First off, the Electoral Commission has strongly defended its decision to recollate results in 9 parliamentary constituencies following the December 2024 elections, insisting the move is both standard and necessary to uphold electoral integrity. The EC has so far completed recollation in 7 constituencies, all favoring the NPP candidates, with the process set to continue in 2 remaining, despite criticism from the opposition NDC over alleged irregularities. The EC maintains that recollation is not unprecedented, citing similar instances under Dr. Afarijan's tenure. Speaking to my colleague Benjamin Akapo, Deputy Chairman of Corporate Services, Dr. Bosman Asari, and Director for Training, Dr. Sribo Kweku, emphasized that the exercise is crucial to addressing disputes and ensuring accurate results. So, the evidence available, will look at it. Unlike the other ones, we don't know, we didn't know the winners. The counting continued and we were able to know the winners. But for this one, as you said, Madam Akurugu was declared. So what we are going to do, we look at the 3 polling stations. We've requested our officers to bring us the evidence supporting that. Once we have those evidence, the commission will go ahead and do the needful. Because we are committed to ensuring that the right things are done. And that's what we are just doing.
So you're saying that as of now, you've still not looked at the evidence as far as...
Oh no, our people have fed us with a lot of information. The commission will meet over written. A decision will be taken as to when to have the returning officers meeting over the 2 constituencies so that we put everything... Well, you know, we need to gazette the results from the 2 polling stations. The others are in the process of being gazetted. So we are working on that.
Now, on that issue, we know the Kwashiman cluster of schools went up in flames. There were ballot boxes there and all of that. What happens to that constituency then?
No, that's why the commission is going to meet and, usually...
Because at least there too, I believe it was Irabna Obin who was declared the winner.
And she was declared with 77.9% of the polling stations. And now... That's unacceptable. Right. It's not done.
And now the rest of the evidence is lost.
Yeah, so, the last time they met, they were able to get... Out of the 62 outstanding polling stations, they were able to get about 37 of them.
No, 25.
25. So meaning we have 37 outstanding.
Deficit.
Yeah. So
are you going to be able to retrieve that?
Oh yes, the commission is looking at all the options available. Once we look at all the options available, a determination will be made. Then the process will continue.
See, all of us are aware that from the 2 political parties, they were saying that they were able to collate their result before 12 midnight on the 7th, right? Mean that all of them have the results. So the question I pose is, why are we here? Because if you have the results, I also have the results. Just a matter of...
I've actually asked them the same question, that if you have your set of results, bring them and let's reconcile. Why do you think it's difficult to bring their results so that you can reconcile?
Oh, they will be able to explain. So the most important thing is that because the results are already in, with time, the commission will be able to get all the results in either hard copy form or soft copy form. Once they get them and they are reliable, they will be used. But I want to add that, you see, the declaration is not just announcing the results.
When you announce it, you put them on the summary of result sheet. When we do that, you transfer the results onto the rate of election. It is the rate of election that every elected person will hold when the person is being sworn in. So if I say that a couple has been elected and Dr. Bosman is the one holding the rate of election, it is Dr. Bosman who can be sworn in, not you. And in addition to that, the law says that after the rate of election, we should also gazette it. And the law said that it is after you have gazetted, 21 days after the gazetting, that's when somebody can challenge it at the court. Meaning that the law itself recognizes that the process, in the course of the process, certain corrections could be made. That's why it didn't say the minute you announce, you go to court. And there have been instances in Ghana here that some people have gone to court when the result has not been gazetted, and the court had thrown them away. Because the process has said that it is giving the commission the room to do the proper supervisory work, to be sure of the result being accurate, so that if you are gazetting, that's the last phase. And once you gazette it, there's no way you can go and record it.
Right. So there's also been the claim that after, for example, the likes of Rabna Oben, the likes of Faustina Kurugu were declared, gazetting didn't naturally follow, which should have been the process. Now, with these 7 that have now been determined over the weekend, are you going to go ahead and gazette them?
Oh, yeah,
how swiftly will the process be?
No, that we could gazette them even today as we are speaking.
What's the plan?
The commission is looking at all the options, so we could gazette them today.
But they are going to be gazetted definitely before
now,
January the 7th.
We have 274 out of 276. So the commission may decide to gazette the 274 today. Then subsequently we gazette the outstanding 2.
The NDC, fiercely disputes these results. And they say it's even interesting that out of these 9 that were being looked at, all 7 that you've done so far have been won. Hold for me. Have been won by the NPP. They say there's something fishy going on. There's some collusion with the New Patriotic Party and the Electoral Commission. And that's where the sticking point is, that they will not recognize these 7 members of parliament. Where does that leave us?
So are you trying to say NDC wanted us to say let's share 5-5 or 5-4? No, our job, as I made the point, that we don't care who wins the parliamentary in any particular constituency. We don't care who becomes president. We have a simple mandate: conduct and supervise all public elections and referenda. And the commission's objective is to ensure that at each constituency, presidential, the whole of Ghana as a constituency, the will of the people will prevail. Okankwe Central, we were left with 31 polling stations. We didn't know who was the winner. The collation was done in that room. So the evidence, all the evidence on the pink sheet, they were used. You mentioned in Sawam, I don't even know the difference, whether it was 200 or 300. They went there, they did the counting with the agents of the parties. They did the same for Obuasi had already been completed. For Anonof, Tepa had not been done. They did the counting in the presence of the media. So the commission is not thinking, oh, let's do so that this person, we cannot do that because the evidence is on the pink sheet. And my colleague asked something. The parties themselves, they told us before the elections that by 12 midnight they would have gotten their results. So all what the EC has declared, I would say without any shadow of doubt that the parties have the same information. But they won't come and tell you.
The Electoral Commission, in a tweet this morning, has been given instances in the past where re-collation was done to ensure the integrity of the elections in some constituencies. Well, I'll be bringing you some parts of the tweet as well. So it says that in 1998, during the district-level elections in the Dompoase, Kokwado electoral area, and in the Kia, I think is an abbreviation of a district, KEEA district, the commission under the leadership of Dr. Afarijan overturned an earlier declaration and went on to declare the right candidate as a winner. If you go a little further, the tweet, it also says that in 2004, the EC under the leadership of Dr. Afarijan recollated parliamentary results for the Tolan constituency and declared the right candidate as winner as well. He gave another constituency as well, Yape Kusagu constituency as well in 2004. And same in 2004 as well, the Zabzugu constituency was also recollated and the right candidate was declared under the leadership of Dr. Afarijan. And now let's remain a bit longer on this and speak to the Deputy Director of Elections and IT for the National Democratic Congress, Dr. Rashid Tanko Computer. The EC has cited historical precedents for recollation during elections, describing it as a standard practice. Doc, thank you for joining us. Does the NDC acknowledge the legitimacy of the measure so far?
Let me say good morning to your cherished viewers and you yourself. Clearly, this Electoral Commission, as I always put it, is a very lawless Electoral Commission. Seriously, what they have put up there is meant to deceive the public and deceive you, the media. But they cannot deceive some of us. Let me correct this impression. Every electoral cycle has its own CI. Every electoral cycle, it comes with a CI, constitutional instrument, put together at IPAC level and adopted at Parliament, and it is used to govern the elections. 2004 has its own constitutional instrument. They should go and read it and see the various regulations in therein to understand why those days certain happenings went that way. This current CI came into force in 2020, signed by Madam Jean Mensah. Very different from the various CI instances they've just mentioned. The current CI is completely different from the one used in 2004 and 2012, 2016. Different CIs were used. And so they shouldn't deceive the public. They should let the public know those days, what was the practice? What was the practice and the current practice? Now, let me give you an example. In 2004, the Tolang incident, you see, God is so wonderful. I'm still alive. I was the NDC agent at the Regional Collation Center when this incident happened in Tolong in 2004, in Tamale. They had started collating the results and mob attacked the place, vandalized everything. Our agents ran for their life with their pink sheets, the carbon copies they had. The EC also had their carbon copies. So they had to regroup in Tamale at the Regional Collation Center for us to continue the collation. It wasn't that there was a declaration in Tolong and they had to come and do another declaration in Tamale. There was nothing like that. So they should stop deceiving the public.
And so
this is completely false.
And so if we understand you, the circumstances
Mr.
that have
was then
led
the regional director of Electoral Commission. He's still alive. He's on retirement.
Right. So if we understand the NDC, the circumstances that led to recollation in these years that the EC has just recently cited are different from the circumstances. And also the CI that was governing the election at the time is also different. Does this mean that the CI today does not even provide for any circumstance where there will be recollation at all? Doc, if you can hear me. Oh, I'm sorry. We'll try and then break Doc back at some point so we get clarities to that, as the NDC vehemently opposes to the recollation of the constituencies that so far have been declared in favor of the NPP. Now, the New Patriotic Party has announced plans to probe the reasons behind its defeat in the 2024 general elections. Party Chairman Stephen Ayesu Intim says an electoral review committee will be formed in January 2025 to analyze the laws and gather input from members and the public. The findings, he noted, will shape constitutional reforms aimed at positioning the party to reclaim power in 2028.
NPP went into the 2024 general elections with a lot of hope and positivity. Our aim was to secure an emphatic victory at the polls, and we worked very hard at it. As a party, we put in our best efforts in the campaign. I commend all members of the various campaign teams of the party, from polling stations to the national level, who also put in their very best in the campaign. Equally, I deeply appreciate the dedication and commitment of all members, sympathizers of the New Patriotic Party for your tireless efforts. There is no doubt that the outcome of the elections was not what we hoped for. We may not have won the battle, but we haven't lost the war on the quest for a better Ghana, shaped by the ideals and philosophies of the New Patriotic Party. As leadership of the party, we share in the pain of all party faithful who have been devastated by the outcome of the elections. We understand your disappointments because we feel it too, just as the hundreds of thousands of Ghanaians who invested their hopes and dreams in this campaign do. As a party that was formed by individuals from all sectors of our society who are motivated by the ideals of development and freedom, we seek to grow the individual liberties of our people by growing a strong democracy. The party will, in the months of January 2025, set up an effective and objective election review committee to undertake a post-mortem into the outcome of the election. The committee will engage all party stakeholders and the general public on the factors and circumstances leading to our defeat. We have a firm belief that the work of the election review committee will enable our people to express their concerns and to bring out suggestions and reforms, changes, and other critical issues necessary to restructuring our party. One critical area that must occupy the attention of the Election Review Committee is the possible need for constitutional amendments.
Well, let's take you back to Dr. Rashid Tanko Computer, who earlier is being reacted to the EC's re-collation and the tweet this morning. Doc, thank you for reconnecting with us. And so we've got 2 out of the 9 constituencies that have been declared. So 7 declared for the NPP, and we have 2 more to go. The EC doesn't look like it will back down in any way. What's really the NDC's plan?
Very well, like I indicated, that their statement should be thrown out completely. Don't even administer it. Complete fasting. And I'm saying that it comes on the heels of what Madam Jean Mensah asked for staff. And I read, equal levels when requested before declaration of results. Hello?
Yes, Doc, I'm with you.
Hello?
Doc, we can hear you. Please go on.
Yes.
Hi, Doc.
Your host has disabled my video.
No, we can hear you. Please go on.
Yes, the host has disabled my video.
Unfortunately, right? But we can hear you. Please go on.
Okay, so I'm saying that re-collation can be done. Re-collation can be done. Once the election results have been declared, a dissatisfied party cannot request for a re-collation or recount of the ballots. So what has changed here? That's, now compare that one to what they have just issued today. Or who are they fooling? So please, these things that we are doing, the Electoral Commission is continuously becoming a very lawless institution, and they must keep track to their own mandate. Because what they are doing is completely unfair. Do you know that they called for IPAC meeting? That we should come for IPAC meeting 12 midday today. After our response to that, their statement, they quickly IPAC meeting again.
Doc, I was hoping to have...
They were perpetuating falsehoods.
Unfortunately, Doc, this morning, the network is not favoring us this morning. But I've just heard that you said that there's a request for an IPAC meeting. We'll follow that and then bring viewers what would happen at that IPAC meeting. But moving on, the Member of Parliament elect for Hohoi Wolanyo Chekpo says defeating the incumbent NPP candidate in the constituency was no easy feat. Now contesting political heavyweight John Peter Amewu in a constituency where he was relatively unknown despite hailing from Malavanyo made the victory even more challenging. Mr. Chekpo has vowed to work tirelessly to weaken the NPP's influence in Hohoe ahead of the future elections.
A new phase emerged in the political history of the Hohoe constituency of the Volta region in 2023. Wolanyo Chekpo was tasked by the National Democratic Congress's national chairman, Asiedu Nketia, to unseat the New Patriotic Party's John Peter Amewu. Though he was received with mixed feelings and identified as an alien, he sold through the NDC parliamentary primaries contested by 6 aspirants.
Even in Bono, it was tough because I'm not from Bono, but going there to contest and winning to be the Bono Regional Youth Organizer and the Bono Hafo Regional Youth Organizer was another tough journey. We were able to sail through. I didn't stay in the constituency for long. And coming to contest the primaries, yes, was another Herculean task. But the strategies we put in place was able to make us sail through. In fact, Bono went through the process and I said in Ketia as a politician. And that experience helped me to win the primaries and then also to embark on this long journey that brought us this far.
Being handed the mandate to contest the parliamentary seat on the ticket of the NDC, Mr. Chekpo marshaled all forces to face John Peter Amewu. With a well-thought-through strategy, including undertaking developmental projects with the support of regional and national executives, the NDC won back the seat on December 7, 2024. Mr. Chekpo polled 31,163 votes against Mr. Amewu's 14,971 votes.
Moving from the primaries and contesting somebody who has been in the system all this while, regional chairman for the entire region, Volta region, someone who has been energy minister, someone who has been lands and forestry minister. That's a big fish, not in only MPP, but in our political system. And then there's a young man coming to contest him. That's why I said a lot of people see it as something impossible. But with determination and the right people around, we were able to conquer the elephant and got it slaughtered.
Mr. Chekpo outlined road construction, job creation and water and sanitation projects as major interventions he would undertake during his 4-year term.
So it's a huge task, but John Mama promised me. Yeah, I discussed these permanent problems with him, and then he promised that he will help me to succeed in those areas. He said his road minister is going to help me. The Hohoe entry roads and the Eastern Corridor roads are going to be on top of his agenda. UHAS is going to be on top of his agenda, and he's going to help me. Youth unemployment, we are going to see to it that we solve it by bringing 1 or 2 factories to the constituency. One in Fodome, a cassava factory. We are thinking about a coffee processing factory and also bamboo processing factory in Alavanyo. All this will be able to reduce the unemployment rate.
Mr. Chekpo and the NDC vowed to diligently deliver on their mandate to make the NPP unpopular in Hohoe and the Volta region. Fred Kwame Asari, Joy News, Hohoe.
The Environmental Protection Agency has issued a grave warning over worsening air quality this Harmattan season as rising dust levels cast a shadow over the festive cheer, with air quality index reading ranging from, quote, unhealthy to very unhealthy, unquote, as in areas like the University of Ghana and Adabraka. The EPA is urging everyone to prioritize safety this Christmas. Vulnerable groups such as children, the elderly, and those with health conditions are advised to limit outdoor activities and wear pollution masks to protect themselves while enjoying the season. Clear Air reporter Michael Ashali has more in this report.
It's that familiar season of the year where the air is saturated with dust and dry. Like every year, the air quality during Harmattan moves from moderate to hazardous levels. Starting from mid-December to peaking in late February, air quality watchers say this period impacts Ghana's air quality, which is currently in the red zone. Medics warn respiratory-related health problems will be high among those who will be exposed to the poor air quality. Data from the EPA shows air pollution is off the charts. At Adabraka, and the University of Ghana, the air quality index has soared above 200, a stark, very unhealthy warning for everyone and especially risky for vulnerable groups. Across Accra, Breathe Accra census report dangerously high PM 2.5 levels, with markets like Makola and Agbogbloshie blanketed in hazardous air. To put this in perspective, the WHO's recommended safe limit for PM 2.5 over 24 hours is 15 micrograms per meter cube. In some areas of Ghana, levels are hitting 15 times that, 4 times higher at minimum. This pollution isn't just dust. It's made up of fine particulate matter that can seep into your bloodstream and even reach your brain. Adding to the crisis is the relentless pumping of pollutants from vehicles and factories, compounding the already dire situation. The EPA has issued a notice cautioning the public about the dangerous air quality levels and advised protective masks and minimizing outdoor activities where possible. Vulnerable groups, including children, the elderly, and those with pre-existing conditions, are urged to take extra precautions. For Joy News, Michael Ashale.
Now let's speak to Dr. Sandra Kwati Owusu. She is a pediatric pulmonologist and a senior lecturer in the Department of Child School of Medicine and Dentistry, College of Health Science, KNUST. Doc, many thanks for joining us. And so, given the worsening air quality during this Harmattan season, what are the specific health risks children face when exposed to unhealthy and very unhealthy air conditions?
Good morning, and thank you for having me. Yes, I agree with the EPA that this is a very important moment for us. Harmattan brings us close to very high levels of pollutants in the ambient air. So for children in particular, I mean, the whole of this week, I've had a lot of parents call me to ask, my child is coughing, my child is struggling to breathe, I can't breathe well. And the issue is that around this time, definitely because of the suspension, there's so much content of particulate matter. And once we breathe it in, you know that that also carries along with it bacteria and other organisms, viruses that predispose children to getting upper respiratory tract infections. So the first one is that we would see a lot of upper respiratory tract infections around this time for children. But most of them will be self-limited. However, for a few children, especially those with underlying respiratory conditions, that could be of concern. So I think the message for most parents at this time is to be alert, especially for parents of children who have underlying respiratory conditions. And for that, I mean, let's say asthma, already diagnosed with asthma, already diagnosed with lung disease of prematurity, which we call bronchopulmonary dysplasia. High levels of particulate matter could cause what we call in our, medical term, pulmonary exacerbation. That means worsening of symptoms. So I want to encourage all parents to be alert. If your child is already known with an underlying condition, this is a good time to visit your doctor or get a consult quickly. Stay on your prescribed medication. If the child shows worsening symptoms, it's important that you quickly consult the doctor who is looking after the child. They shouldn't run out of prescribed medications at this time. Okay. For children who are also not vulnerable, we would say a healthy child, they still can come down with upper respiratory tract infection. So as much as practicable, we can limit outdoor activities. But that is not to say they shouldn't exercise at all. If they need to go out in the sun, we need to keep them hydrated. Okay. And as EPA has suggested, they can put on nose mask that will limit how much pollution they are exposed to. So that would be a recommendation I would give.
Well, Doc, so the EPA said that it is quite concentrated in some particular parts of Accra. How long do I need to be exposed to this air? For example, if I visited Adabraka, do I have to just be there briefly and then I'll be exposed and I can be affected anyway, anyhow? Or despite it being concentrated in these two major parts of Accra, once I'm exposed, once I'm outdoor, I'm also quite exposed to this condition?
I think usually a brief exposure may not necessarily be harmful to many people. Usually it is the cumulative exposure. So people who are residents in those areas, maybe I would say stand a higher risk as opposed to maybe somebody who is just passing through the community. But in spite of that, I think we all need the knowledge, the awareness is important. Any precaution that we can take, wearing your nose mask would be advisable. And if you can avoid it, if you don't need to go there, then it will, I would say, please don't go there. But if you are a resident there, then you can limit your outdoor activity, and so that you would limit how much exposure you come into contact with. And I think even beyond the hot spots, I would say, generally when we step out, we're seeing that the whole atmosphere is very humid around this time, and there's a lot of particulate matter that is suspended. So literally all of us around this time stand the risk of being exposed to high level of pollutants. So we all need to be alert. We all need to protect ourselves. We all need to limit how much pollution we are exposed to, and as much as practicable, limit outdoor activity. Stay hydrated, because apart from being humid, the temperatures are also very, very high, and we may also stand the risk of being dehydrated and having heat stroke, especially also for people who are already known to be vulnerable. So if you are residents in a place that is a hotspot area for pollution, please be alert, please be aware. That is your home, that is your environment, and you don't have an alternative. Then avoid so much of the outdoor activity. Cover your nose as much as practicable if you are there. And then sometimes we also contribute to the sources of pollution. So indiscriminate burning of refuse and speeding in very dusty areas. We can all limit that so that we don't worsen the ambient air pollution in our immediate environment.
Doc, before I let you go, and finally, at what point should I be running to the hospital, myself or my child? Should I sneeze about 3 or 4 times, or shall I start coughing before I start running to the hospital, or there's no cause for alarm?
I don't think all of us need to run to the hospital. I mean, generally, I would say the greater majority of the population, we are healthy. So we just need to hydrate ourselves. Our nostrils tend to get very dry, and the lining of our nostrils get broken, and that is when the microorganisms are able to move through. So I think staying hydrated, this is the time for our fruits and the vegetables that help to boost our immune system, but also look out for. If you are coughing, you don't necessarily need to run to the hospital. But if the cough becomes persistent, you are unable to breathe, and your respiratory rate is going much higher than it's normal with you, you have to really put in an effort to breathe. Then you need to go to the hospital immediately. And that will be the same for children as well. Okay. And I would say for children living with asthma in particular, if they have worsening symptoms. So for them, what the parents or the caregivers would see is, apart from the cough, they have exercise limitation. They cannot do the usual things that they are comfortable doing during the day, or during the night, they cough a lot, and then there's noise in their breath. That is a source of concern, and they need to go to a health professional immediately.
Dr. Sandra Kwarteng-Owusu, thank you so much, and Merry Christmas to you and your family, Doc.
Merry Christmas to you.
Right, you're watching Joy News Desk. So go for a quick break. When we come back, business, please stay.
Hi, good morning. Welcome to Business. My name is Darryl Kwao. The Bank of Ghana is seeking public input over its new set of draft regulations for digital financial services. George Affe has more.
The draft regulations is part of what the Bank of Ghana describes as open banking rules that will lead to the adoption of financial services for the digital space. It will also ensure that they have improved payment systems in the financial sector. This draft, the central bank argues, that was done in collaboration with key stakeholders in the sector. The Bank of Ghana maintains that these new regulations will also help ensure that the Ghanaian financial sector remains secured, efficient, and globally competitive. The central bank believes that it is not done yet. That is why it is still seeking some input from the public when it comes to this draft regulation. This will ensure that before this becomes the final set of regulations for the sector, all those who are playing in this space are aware of everything and how it is seeking to ensure the sector is safe and has the required laws comparable to any financial sector all over the world.
Now, some stakeholders within the public TV space are calling on industry players to forge partnerships in supporting young people. Volta Regional Director of TV Service and Head of Monitoring and Evaluation at the NVTI, Christian Agoda, says this is key to preventing the creation of artificial jobs and sustainable ones. He spoke to Joy Business at the mega graduation ceremony of Trinity Expertise Institute.
Some 285 students graduated, received certificate after completing courses in plumbing, cosmetology, and forklifting, among others. Volta Regional Director of TVET Service and Head of Monitoring and Evaluation at NVTI, Christian Agoda, expresses delight in seeing young people striving to earn a living and make an impact in life.
Talking about partnership with industry, you know, when it comes to skill development, people that went through skills training go into industry to work. What that means is that the educational institution, TVET institutions, are producing the manpower that industry needs for their businesses. So if industry invests in TVET delivery, they are indirectly helping to develop the human capital that they need for their production.
Director of Trinity Expertise Institute, Victor Ajale, stressed the need for more investment in TVET.
So we are just here to celebrate them and also make sure we assess them to see what they've done, if they've really done well. And also I would like to use this opportunity to encourage everybody to enroll in TVET education. Our today's word, if you don't have a skills, you can't go forward because everything is now skills based and you need to be your own boss. So to the youth out there, you can go to school, that's fine, but you have to make sure you have a practical skills at hand.
One of the students, Sarah Opoko, expressed her delight.
Coming here, I had no idea of cosmetology, but within 6 months, the school instilled in me anything I need to know about cosmetology. And trust me, the school has really transformed me. When I was coming, like I said, I didn't know anything.
The graduation was under the theme, Making a Difference.
All right, and that's it for this segment. More news on our website, myjoyonline.com/business. The news returns after this break.
Hello there, and that will be all for Joy News Desk today. For more news, do log on to myjoyonline.com. Many thanks for choosing us, and you would find for the bigger story, re-collation after results declaration, nothing new, says the EC, and cites precedents as well. Thanks for watching.